Hi guys, I'm here to talk about today and Tuesday's assignment, so Monday, April 27th and Tuesday, April 28th. I also want to review some reminders with you after reflecting back on your Section 1 assignment. I did send out an email with a video with some feedback. I highly recommend you actually watch it. I'm also emailing you individually if you're not following directions. So please, again, make sure you're checking your email on a daily basis. So you can see the objectives are pretty much going to be the same every week for the most part. But today, starting Monday, I would like you to do a Padlet journal response. You did one last week. But this one is going to have to do with humanity, and we'll probably be doing these weekly. But this is something I'm checking. So if it's red, it means it's something I am checking off that you are engaging or not. So if you click this link, it will direct you to a page that looks like this on your Padlet. And you are just going to hit the little plus sign down here in the bottom right hand corner and type your response. So once you're done with that, you can move on to complete your reading and your annotation guide. Remember, your Section 2 annotation guide can be found in last week's folder since we started it on Wednesday, April 22nd. So you'll just access it there. And then when you're ready to turn it in, and we get to that point, you will turn it in there. Some areas for focus in this section. This section it gets really intense. So what I thought I would do is just pull apart some things that I saw because I noticed some of you were able to pull these out when you were annotating and some of you didn't. So as I was reading, I noticed three main things that were just jam-packed in this chapter. The first one was the use of repetition. And then, so especially I think on page 34, you're going to see what looks like a poem. He kind of stops in his memoir and writes this starting with never shall I forget, I believe. And he repeats that over and over. So think about why. Like, what was his purpose for doing that? So not only do you want to identify these examples, but you want to have that analysis. I'm going to repeat it again because not all of you were doing it. Not only should you be making 2 notes in each box and recording evidence and page numbers, but a lot of you were missing that analysis or that explanation. So that's what I'm looking for there. But at least a lot of you realized that, I think, and marked yourself here for that reason. So I'm hoping this one is a little better. You're also going to see descriptive imagery. Okay, he's arriving at the concentration camps, and boy, does he describe it well. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that this is one of my favorite novels, because you really feel like you're there with him. And a lot of figurative language. So as you analyze the language and literary techniques he uses, please be sure to interpret the meaning and think about what he is trying to convey. So I would say these 3 boxes right here, you're going to have lots of information for there. Okay, so definitely more than 2 options. Then, once you are finished with that, you can move on to planning your questions. Remember, these questions are for your peers to discuss. And I noticed a lot of you were following the directions for the wording, but the question was not really lending itself to discussion or critical thinking. So please, when you're developing these questions, don't just do it to do it. Okay, I really want you to come up with some good quality questions that would get your peers thinking and discussing. Okay, so think about that. If there's something where you stop as you're reading and you find yourself thinking about it, turn that into a question. Okay, and please use your annotation guides to help you come up with these questions. Because if you're stopping and jotting it down, it's probably important. So again, please make sure you're planning those here, okay? And then on the date of our discussion, which for this week is going to be Thursday, please remember to post these on the discussion board. You will see there's a discussion board there. you can plan out your questions, but if you don't post them and you don't respond to them, I'm not going to give you credit for this activity, which some of you did. You planned them out and you turned it in and then you never did the discussion. So that is the second part of what we are assessing for your engagement. And you'll see once you do it that day, then you will go back and I guess I should put that down. Be sure to highlight where you fall on the rubric before submitting. Okay, that was another thing you guys were forgetting. I had to shoot it back to you because I really want you to self-assess. So that's Thursday. We'll talk about that again Thursday, and you'll see you are going to have a written assignment Wednesday. And just another reminder, if something is red on here, you should be completing it and or turning it in via Schoology. So you'll see the assignment I'm going to go over Wednesday is an individual written assignment that will be submitted. Your engagement rubric and your annotation guide is submitted after the end of the cycle once we've done the discussion. And then the only other thing you have is your Padlet activity, which I can easily pull up and see who's done it and who hasn't. But the big change this week, in addition to having daily assignments, is that you must have all this work done by Friday at 3 p.m. So we're no longer doing that whole weekend thing. You will see, though, in addition to that, Friday by 3 p.m., I will be posting next week's assignments. So if I were you, I would maybe work ahead over the weekend if you're nervous about having that be enough time, or maybe an adult at home is helping you or checking in with you. So you can always start it that Friday, the next week assignment. And more than likely, I'm going to have it posted by Friday morning because I should have everything ready to go. And Friday, we're not doing anything other than, teachers having meetings and planning and things like that. So I will have it posted definitely by 3 p.m. Also, you are going to get weekly snapshots from your 8th grade team. They're going to be posting them on Schoology and maybe even emailing them out. Because I am not on a specific team, I have kids from both teams. I'm not going to be contributing that, but I will be sharing my digital learning plan with you and have it on Schoology by Friday at 3 p.m. So that weekly snapshot will show you everything, but it won't necessarily show you your ELA just because I didn't want to confuse the other 8th graders by putting a second ELA assignment on there. So hopefully you understand that. Just understand too, when you're looking at that snapshot, you do not have Mrs. Fenton, you do not have Mr. Warner, you have me, so your assignment isn't going to be on there. You can find it on Schoology. And again, it will be posted by 3 p.m. on Friday. So let's say you're looking at this and you're like, all right, Friday, I want to get some work done. You could start Monday's assignment for, I think it's May 4th. I don't know. I think it's May 4th. Yeah. So you could start it then. I'll have all the videos and everything ready to go. So email me if you have any questions. As far as like Zoom meetings, I don't necessarily plan on doing that just because I like screencasts. I like that you're able to watch the directions over and over. You're able to replay it or watch it at another time. And the feedback we've gotten from parents and students is that they prefer that. So as far as individual questions, you guys have been doing a really great job emailing me. Please do that. If I'm still not answering your question and you're still confused, tell me, okay? And that's when we can set up a FaceTime, or I can set up a meeting on Zoom and we can meet that way. Or if you want individual feedback and more of an explanation, we can do that. So you can request that individually. I just figure it's better than getting on here and wasting people's time and my time, especially juggling 2 classes. So that is that. Again, if you have any questions after this video, reach out via email. And I did like the discussion board question posting. I can always make another discussion board for the week too. If anyone has any questions there, you could post them there if that works. But that's pretty much how we're going to keep going. So I will continue to give you a daily video. Your next video will be for Wednesday. So for Monday and Tuesday, again, you're just finishing section 2, your annotation guide, mapping out your questions, and thinking if you have any individual questions for me or about this class. You will also see starting the end of this week, the beginning of next week, excuse me, Power School, I will be tracking what you're doing. So I am going to just be tracking your overall engagement, highly engaged, moderately engaged, not yet engaged, based on your progress for that week. So that's that accountability piece. And if you go on Power School, that's what you will be seeing. Okay, so have a great day, and I will be back on Wednesday.